Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you all know, this is Shaleka Knows Sports, and so I know it's been a day or two since I've been able to chime in and talk to you, but I wanted to chime in today because I wanted to talk to some things about that was going on in the sports world. So let's start with the biggest topic, okay, which has been the hot topic. Baker Mayfield was released by the Panthers. And he was released by the Panthers, and some speculated, they said that it was, reports or it's allegedly that he has been released because he wanted to be released. And that was his option. And so Steve Wilkes said that he was giving him a courtesy to release him, I guess, to get a jump start on what his next position was. But me personally, I think that Baker was no longer going to start. And because he was no longer going to start, he wanted it. And after he saw that the 49ers quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, had got injured. The Rams were struggling to get a quarterback. Houston, Texas was struggling to get a quarterback. I think that he thought that he would get a better opportunity elsewhere. Now, as we fast forwarded from the release, he has been claimed off the waivers by the Rams. Now, this makes sense for them considering the fact that Matt Stafford is probably going to be benched for the remainder of the season. And so they don't have a quarterback that has, I guess, any experience in terms of the NFL except for whoever's been playing already for the last couple of games. And so I guess they thought, hey, with Baker only costing him $1 million, $1.3 million, I think it is, then he was worth a go to complete those last 5 games so that it just didn't end up in a wash. So Baker is headed to L.A., happy for him. I realized that he did not fit in the Carolina Panthers system. I will say that, unfortunately, I feel like, yes, he did get an unfair deal with the Carolina Panthers, not because of Steve Wilkes, but more because of Matt Rule. I think that it's more telling on the coach that Matt Rule is, simply because of the simple fact that at the beginning of the season and before training camp, Ben McAdoo said that Baker was not the type of quarterback that he wanted to work with, and he didn't think Baker would fit into his system. And because of that, he thought that Baker would not do well. Well, fast forward all these games later, and McAdoo tends to have come out to be right. I guess the man knows his system. And so I think that is just very telling of the Panthers organization and Matt Rule, and I got to get some of this onus on the GM Scott Federer, because it's saying, like, basically, hey, who would not listen to their offensive coordinator? If he tells you a guy's not going to fit, a guy is not going to fit. And so I think that, unfortunately, Baker got the short end of the stick here. And because he got the short end of the stick, then, of course, it didn't work out and he looked horrible. Now, I will say, I don't think Baker is this elite quarterback. I know he was drafted number 1 and that he came from Oklahoma, but I don't think that he is a top tier quarterback. At best, I see him being mid-grade. His time in Cleveland says he was mid-grade, because if he was more than that, Cleveland would have kept him. But because he was not above mid-grade and he's looked horrible with the exception of 1 season, then Baker's out the door in Cleveland. He came to Carolina, didn't do any better. Yes, he got the raw end of a deal here, and he was in a system that did not work for him. But Baker is mid-level at best, and that worked out for the Carolina Panthers. They say, hey, let us go ahead and get him off this books. Let us go ahead and save a little bit of cap money, because now we don't owe him the full $5 million. And instead of owing Cleveland a 4th-round pick, we only owe them a 5th-round pick. So I think for them, it was probably a smart move strategically for the Panthers, especially if he was not going to play and you only have a few games left and you're willing to gut it out with Sam and with Sam Darnold and PJ Walker. I think that was the best move for the Panthers. I also think it was the best move for Baker because it gives him the opportunity to jumpstart on his next opportunity. If it's a starter, if it's a backup, well, he gets the opportunity to jumpstart on that next opportunity, wherever that is. And I wish him all the success and luck, and I hope he does well. I do want him to do well. I just don't think that he is that guy. Now, I'm going to pause right here and say, please like, share, subscribe to the channel because it does help me with the YouTube algorithm. As many of you all know, there are not a ton of, I feel like there are not a ton of women in sports who really just are adamant about sports, giving their opinion, that are really like adamant as about the sports world. And so this helps me to get my content to other women and to men as well, or to whoever around the world. But of course, me being a woman, I would like to know, or to tell other women, that it's okay to be involved and to love sports, because I love them. I love them like you wouldn't imagine. It's a big part of what I do. I have grown to love football, basketball, and it probably has a lot to do with the fact that I have 3 brothers. I grew up with 3 brothers, and so we were a sports family, but I absolutely love it. And so it's okay to love those things and to be gun-ho about them. And I know it's typically not popular, but it is okay. And so I just want my content to be able to get out to other people and to share my joy with others. But moving along, the next topic of conversation that I wanted to cover was, wait a minute. Did Anthony Davis resurrect his career? I don't know. Let's talk about it. So with Anthony Davis, he's played for the Lakers, and for the most part, for the most of his career that I can remember, he's been injured. Okay. He was with the Lakers last year. He's with the Lakers again this year. And all of a sudden, in these last 2 games against the Milwaukee Bucks, I mean, he went bananas. He scored 44 points against Giannis Tempo, whatever his name is. I can never say his name right. I don't know why. But he scored 44 points. And I mean, he was a madman, right? And if that wasn't enough, okay, in the next game against the Wizards, he scored 55 points. So we're getting a whole lot of vintage AD. Now, the interesting thing about this is I think one of the reasons why this has been so successful for AD is because of the simple fact that now the Lakers are starting to run their offense through Anthony Davis. Now, do I think that's a good thing? Maybe. I have mixed reviews about it. Now, let me tell you what my mixed reviews are. My mixed reviews is that basically this could work out for the Lakers in the long term, in terms of Anthony Davis, being able to go and play huge minutes and play a big role, score a lot of points, okay? And then it doesn't put as much pressure on the rest of the team. Now, the flip side to that is that I don't think it's sustainable. Now, as fantastic as AD has been, I don't think what he's doing is sustainable. I don't see him continuing to have 30, 40, 50-point games. I just don't think it's sustainable for really any athletes. And for an athlete that has had a lot of injuries, I don't see it being sustainable. Maybe, I hope he can do it. Maybe he can do it. I just don't think it's sustainable. And so that's where I'm at on AD. I do know that they play Cleveland today, the Cleveland Cavaliers, which ought to be an interesting game because that backcourt is ridiculous with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. They have been bananas all season. They got Jared Allen over there. And so they've been playing really, really, really good basketball. So that should be a really, really good matchup. I'm going to watch that game. And so this is being pre-recorded prior to me watching that game. So let's see if AD can do it again. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think he'll do that against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I could be wrong. I don't think he will. But hey, who knows? But here's what it is. Now the news is saying that the Lakers are looking to trade. Who are they willing to trade? Will it be Russ? Because Russ has been coming off the bench. Now, I think that Russ has been playing like a lot of the ways like the Russ of old, coming off of the bench. And I think that that Russ has looked good. The question is where will Russ go if he's the person that they decide to trade? So it'll be interesting to see. Will it be Patrick Beverley? I don't think that Patrick Beverley has much fit in that offense. I think that Patrick Beverley should have stayed in Minnesota. I think that Minnesota is really struggling defensively. They've had a couple of good games. I know they won one game against my Grizz because they played not good at all. And I know that with Cat being out, that has caused Anthony Edwards to step up tremendously, as well as Rudy Gobert. But the issue has been, can they maintain it? Can they consistently do it? And I just thought that was an interesting trade anyway. But needless to say, they did it. They got Rudy Gobert. I knew that they would fall off offensively because I just see Rudy more as a defensive presence than an offensive presence. And so now the onus is on everybody else to score. But then a lot of the scores have gone away, like the Malik Beasleys, and D'Angelo Russell is not consistent with his scoring. So it's just going to be interesting to see how that is down the stretch with them. Now, where would Patrick Beverley go next? Who knows? I don't know. You tell me where you think he'll fit. But that's that. So that's my world of basketball. For my updates on basketball, my thoughts and opinions on AD, my thoughts and opinions on Baker Mayfield going to the Rams and leaving the Panthers. And now we have to talk a little bit about the World Cup, because that is definitely still going on, right? And of course, I was sad because the United States didn't win. They lost to the Netherlands, okay? They lost to the Netherlands, and now the Netherlands will go on to play Argentina, and Croatia will play Brazil, England will play France, and Morocco will play Portugal. Now, out of all the teams that I see that are still playing, I'm betting, or I'm feeling pretty strongly about, because at first I wanted Japan, but of course Japan lost to Croatia when it came down to penalty kicks. And so now I'm looking at possibly Croatia or Brazil. I think Argentina is good, but I'm looking more toward Croatia or Brazil. That's who I think. I think that I just look at the completeness of a lot of these teams, and I don't know. I just like the way Croatia is playing right now. I like the way Brazil is playing right now. And so I'm definitely leaning more to one of them. But Argentina is not so bad itself. So if I would pick one of those three. And so that's where I'm at with them. Now, as you all know, I'm asking again for you to like, share, subscribe, help me to get this content out. And hopefully I'll be coming to you again at some point this week with the newest, my opinion, my reviews. And at some point, after I get 50 subscribers, I'll be trying to go live and do different contents and different topics like that. But I need you guys to help me to do that so that we can really, really discuss what's going on in the world of sports. That will help your girl out tremendously. Please, as always drop a comment below. Tell me what you think, how you feeling, where you at in terms of basketball, what teams are you picking in terms of football, who's going to go the distance, will it be Jalen Hurts get the MVP? I don't know, because he playing like it, okay? So that's where I'm at. You guys, tell me what you think. Leave me a comment below. I'll talk to you later. And as always, Shaleka always knows sports. And I'll talk to you guys later, and I'm out.